I still see that there's so many people who need help in this space. It's still such a taboo topic and people are not talking about how much they're struggling with it. Like we can see everybody seems like they're doing okay, but we don't know what's happening like behind the scenes. Like, do they know their credit score? Are they checking their balances? Are they paying off their debt in a responsible manner? So it's kind of just making all of us be more aware. Do you know where your money is actually going?
That was Erika Dox-Martinez, founder of Blissful Vida. And this is Epicenter NYC. We connect our communities to news, information, and each other. I'm your host, Amber Castillo. Money isn't just math. It's mindset, it's healing, it's power. But for too long, many of us have been taught that struggle is simply a fact of life. Erika Dox-Martinez is helping to change that. In 2022, she created Blissful Vida, a financial wellness company with the goal of reshaping how Latinas and people of color view money, success, and self-worth. Erika spent over 20 years in accounting, earned a six-figure salary, and still found herself in debt until a turning point pushed her to take control. She paid off what she owed, grew her net worth to over $500,000, and left her corporate job to support others on their financial journey. Today, I sit down with Erika to learn more about how she transformed her own financial life and how she's now helping others to challenge limiting beliefs, unpack financial trauma, and take control of their money. Before we jump in, a quick message from our team.
Hi, I'm Mariana from the Epicenter NYC team with a quick health update. Flu, RSV, COVID, and stomach viruses are creating an epidemic, making public spaces, including schools, virus hotspots. Watch for severe symptoms like vomiting, RSV's sneezing and congestion, and the flu's high fevers and fatigue. Hydration, rest, and staying home when sick help keep families healthy. Protect your community. Wash your hands, clean surfaces, and keep up with vaccines. Need more info? Email hello@epicenter-nyc.com or text 917-818-2690.
Now back to the show. Here's my conversation with Erika.
My name is Erika Dox-Martinez, and I am the CEO and founder of Blissful Vida, which is a financial wellness company. And I'm second-generation Boricua, born and raised in New York City. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
And tell me more about my Blissful Vida.
So again, it's a financial wellness company, and I started it to help more women, particularly Latinas, get their financial foundations in order because it's just a lack of education around our financial wellness and well-being and education in our school systems. So I eventually, did all the things that my mom said that I should do, which is like get a job, go to college, get a job, make six figures. And I did all of that, but I was still struggling with money and in a lot of debt and didn't have like a path or a plan to get out of it until I got engaged and wanted to have a wedding. And I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough money to do this. I have no savings. And I was like, I don't want to go into more debt just because I want to get married and have a wedding. So that's what was my aha moment when it came to money and getting my financial house in order. So my husband and I, my fiance at that time, didn't get married until we were able to pay for our wedding in full. And I was debt free a year after that. So it just took the decision to really figure this thing out. I was like, people have their financial houses in order too. So it's possible. It's just I had a lot of limiting beliefs around the things that I was capable of doing with money. Like people like us don't invest. I'm supposed to be struggling. That's what I see in my community, in my family. That's how we grew up. Credit cards are a way, a normal way to use money and spend. So I kind of was like, all right, that's not the narrative I want to have anymore. And I want more of us to step out of that narrative as well. So that's the premise behind Blissful Vida. It's a holistic wellness company in terms of money. So I want people to kind of dig into their money stories and how we grew up as well, and how that affects our habits when it comes to finances, because I want more of us to thrive instead of just survive when it comes to our money. So what I say is I like for us to live and fund the blissful vidas that we desire and deserve. So that's why my company is called Blissful Vida.
So once you had this pivotal moment or that aha moment, walk me through how you conceived that this could be a business.
So I think the pandemic happened, right? And I was like going through a lot with that. I had a separation with my husband. Then I was like working on myself. So I went to therapy. My husband and I went to couples counseling and we kind of worked all that out. But then there was one part of my life that I was like, all right, let me assess. And my career was the part that was like, all right, this is now the piece I want to focus on. So I worked in financial services for over 20 years by that point. And I kind of always felt a pull like that wasn't for me. And in 2011, I had a cancer scare. So I was really heavily involved with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. So that's like a nonprofit. And I really enjoyed that work. So I was like, I want to do more work that helps people. So I tried to transition into nonprofit. That didn't pan out. So I was like, well, what can I help people with, that something that I've learned or something that I've overcome? And at that point, by the pandemic time had come, I was already out of debt for 8 years, I think. And I already had amassed like $500,000 in net worth. But I was intentionally saving money. Like once I paid off my debt, I freed up $1,500 a month that I was paying to creditors. So it's like, okay, instead of leveling up my lifestyle, which a lot of people do, I didn't move into a bigger apartment. I didn't get things or travel. Like I would still want to enjoy my blissful vida. Yes. So that's part of the, blissful spending planning. But I also was like, I want to not live paycheck to paycheck. I don't want to have to think about, hey, do I have enough to afford this? I don't want to have to finance if I go to buy new sofas. Like I want to be able to have that. That was financial freedom for me, was just to have like a surplus of money where I didn't have to really worry. So I started learning how to save and invest. And one of the other limiting beliefs I had too was people like us don't invest. I didn't have any investors in my family. I guess my mom did have her retirement too, but even with that, she told me, like, she didn't understand what that even was. She's like, why am I giving my company this money and where is it going? And, you just don't understand it, right? But eventually she invested in that. So she was an investor in that capacity, but not in the stock market, like on her own. And eventually she had to do all of that, but it really scared her. So she had like this fear about the market, which I think is relevant for a lot of people as well. But I was like, I don't want to have that fear, because in looking, I think we need to look, success leaves clues, right? So look at other people. How are they wealthy making money? And what most of them do is invest in something. So it could be the stock market, it could be real estate, whatever. They invest in other businesses, like things like that. So I was like, I'm going to give the investing like in the market a chance. And I just started, obviously created my emergency fund. But then after that, I started putting money in the market. And whenever the market dipped, instead of running like, oh my God, I lost all this money, I took it as a sign. This is a discounted rate. The market goes up traditionally. So I should put some more money in there. And eventually that grew and grew and grew. And by the time the pandemic came and I was like, all right, I want to bet on myself and help people do the same thing that I've done and really overcome the financial stress and I guess the chaotic part of money and just not understanding what to do or how to manage our money, because they don't teach us. So I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And I saved enough money in my savings and investing to be able to quit my job and just do this for now. So I just want, that's like how Blissful Vida was birthed. It's just like, I still see that there's so many people who need help in this space. It's still such a taboo topic and people are not talking about how much they're struggling with it. Like, I could say like what I see around me is like everybody seems like they're doing okay, but we don't know what's happening like behind the scenes. Like, do they know their credit score? Are they checking their checking account? Are they checking their balances? Are they paying off their debt in a responsible manner? Or are they just kind of like paying minimum payments? Do they know how much interest they're paying on a monthly, yearly basis because they're carrying this debt? So it's kind of just making all of us be more aware. Do you know where your money's actually going? I think that's a big one. So even for me, I was making all this money. It's like, where does it even go? So I want to help us, I guess, more people be more intentional with their money and give their money a job. So that's one thing I like to say. All of your money should have a job. So if I give you $100 for your birthday, I want you to know what you're going to do with that money. So you can spend it, you can save it, or you can give it away. Those are the three things you can do. Otherwise, it'll just slip between the cracks. Like you don't even know where it goes.
Have you found a community of other Latinas or women of color who are also like navigating this or talking about and educating on financial wellness or wanting to educate themselves more, or maybe like in an earlier phase?
That's what I'm going to start. I would like to see a Blissful Vida movement, Blissful Vida membership down the line. I'm not part of any or know any. I think the communities that I'm in are really Latina entrepreneurs, because that's the space that I'm learning and struggling through. So it's nice to be in a space, with other women who relate to that. But I think a community where it comes to, women and Latinas who have these financial goals that they want to accomplish to do in community is great. So I host Dates with Dinero every Monday night. And that's a free co-working session where you could come in and work on your money tasks. And what that does is like give us a safe space where you don't feel so alone to work on your money things. And a lot of people do come to that and say, it feels less scary to do this work that I sometimes feel anxious about or shameful about, or that I'm avoiding, and to do it together in community. So I think it's definitely needed because a lot of people have a lot of emotional, struggles with money. So to do it in a community, I think is a great idea. So that's the trajectory of the business that I can see down the line.
Speaking of entrepreneurship struggles, what was the toughest part for you starting this business?
Just not having a guide, because I'm the first in my family to start my own business. And if you told me, I don't know, even 3 years ago that this is what I would be doing, even podcasts or speaking or social media, it's like insane the things that I've accomplished that I just never thought that I would. So I think that that's the biggest learning for me is like, okay, the sky really is the limit, and things do get easier as you do the things with courage and do it scared and do it anyway. I think as a solopreneur, the challenge is you have to wear all the hats. That's, I think, a part of the process too, is failing forward. And when it comes to your money, when it comes to business, anything, we need to do the things and learn and pivot and try again. And a lot of people just give up sometimes, or they just accept things, especially when it comes to money. I think if we could go back to that really quickly, it's like they accept this is just life. This is what it is. It's supposed to be a struggle. I saw my parents struggling. And it's like, if you have that belief, then you're going to stay in that space.
What would you say makes My Blissful Vida special? Or what do you think is kind of unique about what you provide?
I think I provide a safe space, a non-judgmental space, a compassionate space, empathetic space for my clients and the people that enter my world, especially because this money game and money emotions, that they're really tough. So I find like just holding space for people where they don't feel judged is huge, because a lot of people say they do try to talk to financial advisors and things like that. And then they're just like, oh, you don't know what this is. You don't know what that is. Or, there's barriers to entry. Like there's so many things about money, and people are afraid to ask questions about money. Like they don't want to seem like, oh, they should know that, or they feel silly. I just kind of create a space for that. And I think another thing with Blissful Vida is working on the money mindset piece of this and digging out these stories and really thinking about why you're spending or not spending, or saving or not spending. Saving. How you do. Like, is there reasoning behind that? Like maybe you don't trust yourself with money. Maybe you got something happen where you were robbed when you were little, or your parents lost everything. Like there's so many different stories. You don't trust the banks because one of the stories, somebody said they lived in another country and the bank just fell apart. So all their money was gone, their family's money. So they don't put their money in the bank. So it's like thinking about all these things, and just, I think that makes it different, because a lot of money people are like, yeah, just create a budget. Yeah, just save. Oh, it's so easy. Just do do this, do this, do this. But you need to have a good why behind why you're doing it. So we need to establish goals. We need to be aware where our money is going, aware of our feelings around money. And Blissful Vida helps you transform your relationship with money to a more blissful one. Like we want to feel good about our money. Money's energy, right? Money is an exchange for value. It feels good. Like you should thank your money. Like when it comes to you, thank your money when it leaves, because it's going to be a rotation. And I think money has such a negative connotation, and then that's going to bring the negative energy into your space around money. So
yeah. Was there anything I didn't ask that you wanted to share about your journey, about My Blissful Vida?
I think we covered a lot. I just want to share like it's possible to do better with our money. And I think we need to release the shame around money and forgive ourselves and forgive our parents for anything that happened in the past. And we can start from today and move forward with the things that we want to do for ourselves, our well-being. And that's the financial well-being. And even to reach our goals, like it's possible to do things. Like I never thought I would have $500,000 in so I'll retire a millionaire. Like I know that. And that's like, wow. And I want more of us to be able to say that. But even that, like thinking about it, I don't even know if that's enough anymore. because that's all in 401k. And I think this is another misconception is like, everyone's like, oh, you just want to have $1 million in there. That's all tax-free money. So that means you have to pay taxes on it when you take it out. So let's say I take all of it out, I still have to pay taxes. It's not going to, $1 million is not going to last that long. So if I'm trying to retire, those fire people, God bless them. Like, I love that. So it's like, I wish I could retire earlier, but that all depends what you're doing with your money now and how you plan it. And a lot of them live off of their investments. So I think the rule is like, get enough investments and 4% or something. Like they live off of 4% of their investments, but that means that they have a lot invested.
Right.
So you have to start, the sooner you start, the faster you can get there. And I think it's harder for me as an entrepreneur to do that because I don't have steady income coming in. But when I was working, I definitely had my budget set up where automatically stuff was going into my savings, automatically stuff was going into my investments, I maxed out my 401k, maxed out my IRAs, and then I started investing outside of there. But again, it's like things I had to teach myself how to do because nobody in my family knew any of that. So I looked at, I don't know why, Warren Buffett was the one who found, I guess at that time, because there was not a lot of us out there.
Right.
So he was a big advocate for just the S&P 500. He's like, traditionally, this has done better than a lot of hedge fund managers. So it consistently gives, 8% a year or something like that over time. So I was like, that sounds good to me. So that's what I started doing. So that's my investment strategy. And high yield savings accounts, that's one thing I want to share because I am really surprised at how many people I talk to do not know what a high yield savings account is or how crazy it is the amount of interest your bank is giving you to save money versus them. If I have $1,000 in my bank account, savings account, they give 0.01% interest. Okay, so over a year, $1,000 is going to gain me 10 cents. Okay, which is insane. And that's like another thing with banks. Like I'm like, they're using your money to lend it out and charge boku bucks and interest on that. So they're just giving you 0.01% to use your money. But a high yield savings account on average right now, let's say like 3.75 average. So that would be over a year, $1,000, you'll make $37.50. That's a huge difference. And, then you start adding zeros depending on how much you have in savings. So it's like, I'm all about free money. That's free money. I don't want 10 cents. I want $37.50 better. So I think the high yield savings accounts for sure, if that's something we could highlight for the community. I think online banks are sometimes scary for people because it's not tangible. They can't go to a high yield savings account and just get your money out. It does take some time to transfer the money over. But again, it's a savings account. So you don't need access to it all the time in emergencies. Makes sense. But hopefully you can find a way to cover the expense and then get the money eventually in a few days.
Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
Think about where can folks find you?
My website is myblissfulvida.com. So you could definitely find me there. And Instagram is myblissfulvida. That's my handle. LinkedIn, Erika Dox-Martinez. I'm the only one. So it should be easy to find.
Really?
And I have some freebies on my website. I have dates with dinero on Monday nights. So you can come and let's say you want to research high yield savings accounts or you want to work on your budget. You want to track your spending, anything money related that's on your to-do list for money. So we just kind of do it in a Zoom room together quietly for an hour. And then at the end, I open it up for 30 minutes and people could ask questions. So maybe they have questions about high yield savings or which one do you think is the best one? Or I share a debt repayment plan, the sheet there. I have a budget sheet I give out if people need that. So just a space for us to be more intentional with our money, but get the money things done together.
If you want to learn more about Erika's coaching, co-working sessions, or upcoming programs, head to myblissfulvida.com or follow her on Instagram at myblissfulvida. And if today's episode resonated with you, share it with a friend. We'd also love to hear from you. Leave us a review or reach out to us at hello@epicenter-nyc.com. That's all for today. Thanks for listening and thanks for supporting us as we do our best to support our community. We couldn't do it without you. For more stories like this, make sure to subscribe to our newsletter at epicenter-nyc.com. Our intro music is All the Pretty Horses by Caravika. You can find more of their music on their website, linked to in our podcast description.